Hi, my name is Kelsey David, and a word I would use to describe my life before Christ would be bitter. Up until about 2 years ago, my life was marked by such heavy bitterness and pain and resentment that I'd go so far to say that until I truly grasped what Jesus did for me on the cross, I wasn't so much living as I was simply existing. Ever since I was a little girl, I've wanted to do things my own way, in my own terms. My parents separated when I was 1, and by the time I was 3, they were officially divorced. My father was both abusive and neglectful towards my mother and me, and because of that I began to believe lies about myself that told me I was unlovable and unworthy and broken. And my father wasn't a bad man, but he decided to live his life for the pursuit of his own selfish desires instead of putting his family first. And as much as I would like to say that I'm nothing like him, the fact of the matter is, before Christ, I too lived a life characterized by the pursuit of my own selfish desires. Another way to describe my selfishness would be to say that I was self-absorbed or self-obsessed. I was so absorbed in the pain of the wrongs committed against me that I wouldn't let Christ in to heal me. And even though I grew up in a Christian home and in the church and would have called myself a Christian from an early age, I never really realized that Christ wanted to have a personal relationship with me, and that in fact he wanted to remove my sins as far as the east is from the west and take away all my pain and hurt. And so because I didn't grasp that, I just believed over and over again the lies of Satan told me that no one could ever relate to what had been done to me, that I was broken and unfixable and unlovable and unwanted. Then, at the end of my senior year of high school, I received word that my father had died from cirrhosis of the liver. And while I did feel sorrow at his death, I felt that, once again, my father had abandoned me. It wasn't until the end of my freshman year, though, that all the pain and the resentment just kind of reached its accumulation, and it was just a really dark place. But instead of turning to the Lord to kind of heal me during that time, I turned to a boy, and I ended up more heartbroken and bitter and just in pain than before. And it was at that point that I realized that I really needed to let Christ take all of this for me. I realized that that is why he came and died on the cross, that he could take away not only my selfishness and my sinfulness, but all the pain and the resentment and the bitterness that I stored up in my heart. And when I finally allowed him to do that, the transformation was amazing. Where there was once this pain and this bitterness and this sorrow, there was it was joy, there was peace, there was contentment. I began to find my identity not in my past, what my father had done to me, but in Christ. And I felt whole and complete and loved for the first time. Ever since that point, I've learned more and more what it means to walk with the Lord and to let him, be my all in all. And that's not to say that I still don't have those tendencies to be self-absorbed or self-obsessed with my own pain, or, those tendencies to just kind of wallow in my bitterness. But when those times do happen, the Lord just kind of gently reminds me that in him I find my identity, and in him I'm whole and complete. In him I have the most perfect Father imaginable. And that I don't live for myself, but I live for Christ. And so now I can truly say that there has been this transformation from bitterness to joy. My name is Kelsey David, and that's my before and after.